Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy New Year. If I haven't said it to you already, it's still just day 5 of the new year. So we're still, within that realm of saying Happy New Year. Listen, I wanted to come on today. I'm going to be dropping some tips for event planners, creatives, decorators, balloon artists, caterers, anyone who is in specifically the wedding or event industry, but also for anyone who is starting a business, in business. I think these tips can help you as well, especially if you are, offering services and products. All right. More times than not, my role as a wedding planner, you don't always see the tangibles. As you would a florist or a decorator or a balloon artist, you would be able to see those actual products. And so a lot of times I've noticed in my 20 years in this industry that wedding planners, we don't know how to price our services, right? And so I'm going to talk about pricing today, but I'm going to come back again and talk about mindset, just giving you some little tips. Listen, all of this is leading up to the program that I created called the Event Pro Intensive that we're going to kick off. We're going to cut the ribbon, kick it off in February. I'm going to do some overviews this month, free overviews, just to see if it's something that you feel like can work for you. Hey, come out and hang with us for an hour and a half. You may get some tips. But again, it's leading up to the 3-day intensive for those serious entrepreneurs in this industry who want to scale this year and not just be booked and busy and broke. All right. I think I'm going to make that a t-shirt. Don't be booked, busy, and broke, right? We want to make sure that we are pricing our services correctly. So I'm in a lot of groups and just, to give advice, to get information, to collaborate with other folks in the industry. And what I see a lot of that kind of pains me is that you'll have this creative that has created this beautiful product, floral arrangement, balloon artist, and they will always post it to get advice from everyone else. How much would you charge for this? Right. And so I like I said, it kind of pains me, right? That you should know your worth. We'll talk about this in the mindset shift. I've had people say, well, I'm just starting out. I'm new to this. Nobody knows that you're new to this until you tell them that, right? And if you're new to this and you're not confident in your end product, practice before you have someone pay. Now, here's my thing. I think that any work that you do as a creative, any work that you do as a planner, research, travel agent, whatever you're doing, you should be compensated for that, even if you're new. And so, again, we talk about this. We're going to deep dive into the mindset to make sure that we understand that we are charging what we are worth. And a lot of people have some problems with that. So today, I'm going to give you, I think, about 5 or 6 tips. And we're talking about pricing for profit. Y'all need to stop working hard for free. We're going to stop that in 2026, right? We're going to attract the people who value what we bring to the table and are willing to pay for it. If they are not your customer. Move on. They're not your client, right? This year, we're not going to be chasing the bag. The bag's going to be chasing us, right? And so let me ask you something. If you're in business, any type of business, are you actually making money? Or are you just staying busy? Got a lot of clients, got a lot of bookings, but I'm just breaking even, or sometimes I'm upside down on an event. That should not be so, right? So today I'm going to share about 6 pricing tips that every event professional must know if you want to be profitable, if you want to sustain your business and respect it in your industry for your craft. Okay? Let's talk about it. This is my first cup of coffee today, so let's go. Tip number one, you have to first know your real cost. Not just the supplies. You got to know your numbers, right? Your pricing has to include certain things, okay? It's more than you just buying the balloons and the florals and the linens and things like that. You have to account for time that you don't get back. Labor, even if you're really good at it and it can take you 10 minutes, you need to be compensated for that. If you're going to go set up, if you're going to go break down, travel. I see a lot of folks not charging for charging travel fees to folks, right? Do you have to store it? Okay. Are you using software to create what you're creating? Gas, wear and tear on your car and on your body, right? And taxes. Now, one thing that I teach a lot is that you want to roll that up. When you present that to your client, roll all those things in there and present to them, because they want to know the out the door pricing. Itemizing everything, then that leaves room for, well, can we negotiate on this? Can we negotiate on that? One thing we cannot negotiate on is my time, okay? And my expertise, okay? I've had people say, I can get somebody else to do it. And in my 25th year in this business, and a little bit older than I was when I started, I'd say, go for it. Have them do it. God bless you, right? Now, back in the day, before I learned my worth and I was just trying to, be everything to everybody, right? I would just take on those jobs. And I would then start doing more than they paid for. Sometimes I had to chase them down after the event to get my money. But we live and we learn, okay? This is why knowing your real cost matters. If you don't know your true cost, what it costs for you to create 12 centerpieces, supplies and all of that, you're guessing. And guessing is not consistent, okay? And it will lead to underpricing and burnout because you're not making any money. Does that make sense? That makes sense, okay? There are times that we have tried to, price something and hope it works out, okay? Now, in my intensive, in that 3-day intensive, we talk about pricing. We do activities where we're going to break down our pricing. We're going to know our costs. We're going to know our markup. We're going to know our margin. And we're going to be able to present a final price to our customers, okay? So that is very important. That's tip number one. Let's go on here. Tip number two. And this is something that we as creatives don't do. A lot of us are working for free. We don't pay ourselves first. Pay yourself first. You're not the last to get paid. All the other creatives, they're getting paid, right? But even as a planner, I know this to be so because that's my role, is that your profit is not just what's left over, okay? You decide how much you want to earn and build your pricing around that. If we look at just normal businesses, Walmart, and I used to work for Walmart and used to have to do pricing for them. So that's where I learned about margins and markups, right? They pay, 5 cents for an item and sell it for $1.97. Well, that markup is giving them profit. And so the same goes for you and your business, right? It's not what's left over. Because a lot of times nothing is left over if you haven't priced correctly in the first place, okay? If your business cannot pay you consistently, it is not a business. It's a hobby. I want you to say this to yourself. Pay me. Think, pay me 2026. We're going to get paid for the work that we do, okay? So number two, pay yourself first, not last. Tip number three, price for time, not just the event day. This really comes into play if you're a planner and they say, I just need a day of coordinator, for the day of, okay? The day of is not just the day of and you telling people when to walk down the aisle and cueing the DJ and all that. That's encompassed in that, but you are making sure that the caterer gets set up, making sure that the cake lady shows up on time, make sure the DJ has the right outlets for his equipment. You are managing a whole production. Now, some people who, they'll say, well, I'll just get a day of a coordinator, and they'll say, a reasonable, what's reasonable to you may not be reasonable to me. And so that's why it's important for you to price for your time. Okay. If I start 3 months before your date, and that's what a event production coordinator is, I need to be talking to you, your vendors, the venue. I need to be putting timelines together so that everybody knows where they need to go. You're paying me for that. Okay. Your clients see a 4-hour event. Well, it shouldn't cost that much. And I'm gonna say this, and it might be in here, it might not be, but stop letting people dictate to you what your prices should be. My price is the price. We don't give hookups, discounts, unless you want to, right? But I'll say, listen, you need to go in this understanding that they don't go to McDonald's and buy a Big Mac and ask for a discount. Now, what they will do is they will join the rewards program, and the more that they purchase, they get these points. However you want to set your business up. But we don't walk in the door asking for discounts and the hookup, okay? So clients will see a 4-hour event. What are you doing? You see consultations, you see mock-ups. They want to see what the centerpiece is going to look like before, and they want to see it in their colors. So as a decorator or florist, you have to go get those supplies to create a mock-up for them. They need to pay you for that. It doesn't need to come out of your pocket, okay? You're a caterer. They want to have a food tasting, and they want filet mignon and lobster bisque and all of that. They need to pay you for that, okay? So you see all of that, sourcing those items. They want, polka dotted purple draping, okay? That's sourcing. Then we talk about prep. We talk about, I gotta load it up. If I don't have a truck, I need to go rent a truck, right? I gotta pay people to help me set up, pay people to come back at midnight and break down, right? And all those follow-ups. That's what you see. So this is why pricing for time, all of your time matters. When you only charge for the event day, you're donating hours of unpaid labor. Now, how many of us have a 9 to 5? And if they ask us to stay over and do more work, you're going to pay me. Same thing should be in your business. All right? Ask yourself, how many hours do I really spend on one event? In our Event Pro Intensive, we have homework. We break it down. We make we have an activity where you do a time study. How long does it really take me to put together one centerpiece? We're going to talk about the supplies as well, right? But then we're talking about we have to account for our time. And you do a work study or a time study, and then you determine how labor intensive it was, and you price accordingly. All right. So we'll talk about how many hours do I spend as a florist, as a photographer. How many hours am I spending? All right. And this is something I'm super excited about in the intensive is we have a day to where we create packages instead of custom pricing everything. Now, I started out like this. I was, we can make it fit your budget. It's customized. Now, people do like customized, but if you need to create an anchor package, right? And it needs to be on the low end, mid, and luxury, okay? And those are your prices. You put that together, you say what's included, and you justify the cost by knowing the supplies and all of that, right? So we're going to create packages. Custom pricing every client leads to inconsistency, and that is bad for business, okay? I'm going to talk about two things, inconsistency and undercharging, okay? Inconsistency means that if you're in an area and maybe you get a referral, and Susie Q, I did her wedding, and I charged her $800. But then, her cousin that she referred me to wants me to do her wedding, and I'm going to charge her, $1,800 for the day of, right? Inconsistency, okay, is bad for business. You go into a big, into a McDonald's, always use McDonald's, Starbucks, wherever you go, they're consistent in their pricing, okay? You're gonna get what, you go into a restaurant, you see the price, you see what's included. Now, if you can do some substitutions, right? But this is the base package. And so you want to make sure that you are protecting your profit, okay? Packages protect your profit, okay? Like I said, we don't want to customize everything. This is for things that creating a package and presenting it to your clients is what it does. Number one, it sets boundaries, okay? You've heard the term, you got champagne taste and tap water money, okay? We've all heard that, right? Sets those boundaries for your client, and they understand and they know what is expected and what they can expect. So sets those boundaries. It also increases your confidence because you can confidently speak to that package and what they're getting. Use no guesswork because you've done all the background work, right? Tip 1, 2, and 3. We've done that. And so now we're going to create a package. It instills confidence, and because you are the expert. And I learned this early on too. If I'm hemming and hawing about, my pricing, there's no confidence in the client that I can even do it, right? It makes it easier to upsell. Okay, we start with the basic package, and then we can upsell. Well, hey, if you want, some customized 16-foot centerpieces, we customize it. So it makes it easier to upsell, right? And it stops clients from picking you apart line by line. Listen, they're gonna have a budget whether they tell you they have a budget or not. Okay? I always ask the money question. Consultation is complimentary. I sit down with the client, and in our Event Pro, we're going to do some consultation practice, right? We're going to collaborate with each other. We're going to have a scenario, and you're going to sit down and do a consultation so that you go into that consultation confident. Now, one thing that I do not do is I do not give pricing in the consultation. I need to know what you want. I need to know your budget. Okay, so just let them dream, vision. Money is not an object. What do you want? What are some, some need to haves? What are some absolutely, we have to have this? I let them, and then I go back and I see which of my 3 packages fits what they said, right? And then I can go and give them, pricing, and they can go, oh, can we have doves flying off after, blah, blah, blah. Sure, upsell, right? So you see how even that little bit stops them from picking you apart and trying to determine what your prices should be. That was tip number 4. So we're going to create some packages, and we're not going to be customizing everything, okay? Almost done. Tip 5, stop pricing based on fear or comparison. See, this is what really burns me up, right? And listen, I did it as well, right? And a lot of times I would say, oh, well, they're doing this and stop comparing yourself to other artists. And I'm gonna say this too. Stop being fearful that somebody's gonna steal my ideas. Good, right? And we'll talk about protecting your business and when do you do that mock-up. And again, after they pay for it. I've had folks say, well, if I show them the mock-up, then they're just going to go and, do it themselves. Or it depends on how much information you give them, okay? I'm a travel agent, and I put packages together, and I say starting at this price, right? Because everything it's some variables in there. But what I don't do is I don't tell them the exact resort. I'm gonna give them a picture. And if they tech savvy, they can go in there and find, oh, that's Xcaria in Tulum, right? And so whenever you are pricing your packages, don't do it based on fear or comparison. Your price should not be based on what somebody else charges. And, I started commenting in these groups like, no, you should be doing the pricing this way. It's a system to it, and it's consistent, and it's always going to be geared toward making you profit. Okay. Don't price based on your client's budget or fear of losing the booking. Okay. Your client says they have a budget of $1,200. And then but they, in the vision, putting the mood board together, it was more like, 1,500. Listen, these folks have not done the research. They do not know what things cost. Okay. They don't know. That's why they're coming to you as an expert. So don't, get their budget and try to make it fit their budget. Show them, hey, based on what your budget is, this is what we can do. Okay. And then ultimately it's their decision, okay, to go with it or not. Right. And then don't fear losing the booking. Okay. Don't price on that. If you say this is your price and they go, listen, true story. I had a bride that wanted my services, and I priced them. I quoted them the price, and they came back to me and said, well, it's a little bit more than what we wanted to spend. So can you adjust something? Can we? No, I said, well, what you can do is you can take off these drapes that you got on the ceiling that ain't nobody looking at, that's costing you $1,200. But as for my price, no, my price is my price. And that client walked away from me and got someone else to do what they needed, and spent more than what my price was, and they were not satisfied with the outcome. Sometimes you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. And this is when you need to run, when that client is being very, very nitpicky and they are questioning everything. Listen, I'm the expert. So, I'm going to make sure that you get what you want, and it's not going to, break the bank, but I still have, this is my career. This is my business. I have to make profit. All right. So don't be scared that they're going to walk away. Let them go. They'll come back. This is when we price out of fear, this is what happens. It attracts difficult clients. Okay. It pushes away those aligned quality clients. Okay. When I price out of fear, it attracts difficult clients. Because all they know, they say, hey, I just got to complain and, ask for this. And, and we want our events to be extravagant. We want them to be extraordinary. But if they didn't pay for it, we don't do it. All right. Just think about this. Not every client is your client. And that is okay. Okay. Because there are millions of people in the world that need and want your services. And conjunction junction will pay for it. All right. So let's go. Number 6, and I'm good. I said 30 minutes and we out of here. Number 6, profit protects your peace, glory, and your longevity in this business. If you are making money doing something that you love, you will keep doing it. Someone said, if you can do something that you love, it's almost like, you do it for free. So you find your passion. We're going to talk about that when we find our specialization and our niche and all of that. I'm excited for this intensive. It's going to be my first one. We're going to break out the chains and do that in February. So listen, if you feel like that you have been building and you are still broke, we need to profit. Okay. Profit protects your peace and longevity. Pricing for profit allows you to say no. And that is a complete sentence. It allows you to say no to things that, it's your business, right? We reserve the right to, not serve, to refuse service, right? To hire help. Okay, if I'm pricing for profit, I don't have to be climbing up on the ladders trying to put all of the things together, right? I can hire help. Also, I can invest. I got a profit, I'm paying myself first, and then I'm turning it back into the business. I can invest in better inventory, and actually enjoy what you're doing. I talk to so many people who are not doing these things consistently, who are burnt out. I've seen some venue owners that are saying, we're just giving it up because people don't, they don't, they tear up my stuff and all of that. But if it's something you love, if you are making a profit, you are going to stay in it. Okay. Profit is not greedy. It's sustainability. I'm not greedy. If I give you my price, that's my price. And that's what I'm worth. All right. So, in closing, guys, listen, if this tip helped you, share this live with someone else, another creative who, you feel needs to hear it. And if you're actually ready to not only price with confidence and clarity, listen, in the comments, just drop profit and I'll tell you what's next. I'll send you the link. I am doing a free overview of the full Event Pro Intensive, so you know what to expect, and you can kind of determine, hey, is this for me before you invest. Okay, I'm going to do 3 of those. I'll drop the link for the registration of that somewhere. Right, that's why we need to hire help, right? I'll get my granddaughter to do it. Hey, where do I need to put this link? But that you can go in and you can register. There's a link that is specifically for the overview. And then I have a live link to where you can chat back and forth with us, ask questions about the intensive, the pricing, how long it is, things like that. All right. So in closing, listen, you want to be profitable, okay? And there are some strategies that we will talk about that will help you, okay? So again, before you commit to anything, I'm hosting a free Event Pro Intensive. I'm going to do the overview on January 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Choose, which one that you want to do. It's going to be probably about an hour and a half. Depending on the questions that you have. But it's going to be at 7 p.m. Central Time, right? We're going to do it at 7 p.m. People got to get off work and things like that. This free overview is for you if you're tired of guessing your prices, okay? You want to make money and enjoy your business. You know that you want this program is for you if you want to know if the program is truly a fit for you and where you are right now. Again, it's a free overview. Y'all can come hang out with me. I'm going to share the information about the intensive. I'll drop some, I'm going to make it worth your time to come and just see if it's something that is for you and you feel I can help you. We're going to break down what we cover inside the Event Pro Intensive, who is for, who is not for, how it helps you price, package, and position yourself for profit, and what transformation you can expect if you commit. There's no pressure, no obligation, just clarity, right? It's 2026. So if you want the details of the free overview, just drop Event Pro or profit in the comments. And again, if you know someone else who is a creative who would need to hear this message or hear about the intensive, share that with them, because too many of us are working way too hard for way too little. All right. Your talent deserves to be profitable. Your business should fund your life, okay, not drain it. And if you're ready to stop guessing and start pricing with confidence, I'll see you in the overview on the 20th, 21st, or 22nd. Just pick a day, or you can come hang out all 3 days. All right. So that's all I have for you today. We'll be back tomorrow with even more tips. You guys have a blessed day. And remember, you are worth your hire. God bless.